Welcome back to Unscripted. It feels like it's been a minute since I've been here.
For you, I haven't been to the last two. I forgot who I existed. Dude, I'm so loud. I could tell by the... What do you call that? What's the technical word for this, Tyler?
That is a graph.
The graph? Yeah. You spoke. And when I speak, it's two different things. I'm so loud.
Yeah, that'll get worked out in editing. It'll be all right.
Now look when I talk.
But
sorry,
it feels like we have two guests today, even though we don't.
Yeah, life is. Some would say life has been unscripted to us.
That is very. You never know what's going to hold. Today is Colton's episode.
Yeah,
and we have no idea what he's going to talk about.
Yeah,
I don't think he does either.
I knew about 30 minutes ago, and then I thought about it. I was like, that's what my idea is going to be today.
Nice.
I was trying to think of, or trying to get together something else, but I have this thought already somewhat of a foundation, so I'm going to roll with it. But life has been so much busy lately, from going to nights, to days, to nights, back to days, and then that to nights.
It's amazing how, like, 1 week changed. Yeah. What about 2 weeks have changed?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
We thought you weren't going to be able to join us, except on your episode, and then...
I got told it's just been
it's been weird.
It's like God and life have been playing reverse Unos back and forth to me the past couple weeks. I don't know if that
quite interesting.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting.
Yeah, because last episode y'all left me by myself with Jacob.
Yeah,
but it was a good episode though.
I don't even remember where I was. You filmed that. You did that last Sunday, did you not?
You were probably sleeping. And,
yes.
And Jeremy was
in Dallas.
Yes. Jeremy was trying to backslide, though, because he wasn't here completely. I was here, at least.
And then, thankfully, Jacob agreed to join me.
Yes.
So, we had a good episode, though.
Yes. I was probably asleep.
It felt really weird.
Yes.
But I don't know about y'all, but every time I do an episode, it feels really weird.
Yeah.
Especially when I have to go back and edit it and listen to it. It's like just strange.
I wouldn't know. I hadn't listened to one of our episodes.
I was about to say neither have I.
So. Have you read your own book yet?
Nope, I have not.
Well, I mean, he wrote it. What are you talking about? Read your own book? He wrote every word in it. Technically, he has in a way.
I mean, technically, but... Oh, so by the way, Jeremy...
I was about to say, this would be a good plug right now, Jeremy.
What's your book title?
The title of it is Finding Rest, The Transformative Power of Psalm 23.
And where can you find it at?
You can find it on Amazon, or you can message me and I can send you a link to purchase it elsewhere.
Bro, you know it'd be like really cool. You know how Brother Kelly Patrick has his podcast set up?
You can actually send that to him.
He shouts out an apostolic person. Yeah. It'd be cool. You send him
I have a direct contact.
You send him a copy of
someone
it and get him to read it, and then he can be like, "Hey, I would like for you to shout me out." And then if he's read it, it'd be extra foundation. Welcome.
Yeah,
I'll be your marketing director. I got you. Is that how you say that? Marketing director?
Yeah. That'd be good. I forgot he does that.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to his podcast in a little while.
Yeah,
it's always good stuff though.
But I remember he always shouting out apostolic creators.
It'd be good to do that. Hey, you might get on Kingdom Speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they got Brother Cornelius Williams come on there to talk about his book. So
yeah. But
add that to the book of another book I need to read. But
yeah, I got it. I started reading it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You gonna let me borrow it after you're done with it?
That's kind of a sketchy sore subject.
Yeah.
I let you borrow that other book like 2 years ago.
At least.
And I got it last month at your house.
I did read it. Start reading it though. I mean, that's better than the last book you tried to give me, and I didn't read it.
Didn't read it all.
And that I kept for like 10 years.
Just threw it in a corner.
Probably true. I probably should have read that book. It was Every Young Man's Battle. Tyler walked up to me one day. He was like, "I'm gonna give you this to you, and I think it would help you." And I was like, "Thanks, Tyler." And I didn't ever read it. Yeah. And then about a year ago, do I still have it, or did I give it back to you?
You gave it back to me.
About a year with it. No, it was right after I got married, because I went through it and I was like, I should probably give this back to you. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I never read it. And Tyler's like, he just kind of looked at me, disapproved, and walked away.
Yeah. I like reading. I just have to be in kind of a mood to read.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Anyways,
Culture around the world.
Yeah. The table is
the 5 minute of bantering.
So,
okay, this is my profound thought. Okay, this thought I have had I have had at least, I would say, probably 4 or 5 years I wrote down. And y'all know me, I don't write stuff down.
Yeah.
I'm very non-writing stuff down person. I'm sure there's a technical word for all that. I don't know what it is, but y'all know how I am. I don't write stuff down a lot of times. If I write it down, I thought about it and I liked it. But today's title, Tyler, is Keeping Your Eyes on Jesus. Okay? Keeping your eyes on Jesus. And I thought about the idea today, or remember that I wrote this down and where the context comes from. I was really thinking about the fact that my life this past couple weeks kind of been like this, of just how everything. But I can't remember. I know it's in Mark. I can't remember the chapter and the verse, but I'm pretty sure it's in Mark if I'm not mistaken. There's a storm, and the disciples are in the storm, and they're all going on a storm, and they see that if I think this, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they're going through, and they see Jesus walking, or they thought it was a ghost. In fact, I find it funny that disciples that have been with Jesus and seen the miraculous and all this saw a sketchy figure walking across the water. Like, hey man, that's a ghost. That's kind of peculiar. You've seen Jesus do all these mighty miracles, and the ghost freaks you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, but they say it, and it turns out to be Jesus, and he starts talking to Peter, and he gets Peter. They're missing, not going into all the details of it, but he gets Peter to come out of the boat, and he starts walking on the water. He's the only other person in the Bible that I know of that walked on the water besides Jesus. And I can imagine this huge tidal waves, tsunami, flying all rain going everywhere, wind. There's just a horrible storm. And imagine trying to walk across the storm. I'm sure he was scared to death. Yeah. I mean, some people are just scared of water in general, much less to try to stop. You know what I mean? Jeremy's shaking his head like he's scared of water. So imagine trying to step out.
You don't like when it rains outside?
No, I know there's people that must be scared of water.
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
I know people that are like that.
Yeah, but like,
I don't like deep water.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Obviously, Peter at this time probably wasn't scared. He was probably worried, but because he was a fisherman, so he's probably seen storms his whole entire life. I don't know how long he was a fisherman for, but to my knowledge and what I understand, he's probably done this his whole entire life. His dad probably was. I think his dad was a fisherman, if I'm not mistaken. Does the Bible mention his dad? Doesn't the Bible mention his dad being a fisherman or something like that?
I would think he would have been, because usually you follow the family
tradition, or it would be like a tradition,
family trade.
Yeah,
because Jesus was a carpenter.
Right. You should go listen to that. Anyways, so he's probably been a fisherman. I was like, Jeremy finally got what I said. Anyways,
I just thought of that something though.
What?
We're afraid of the storm because just like the ocean, you can't see how deep it is.
Yeah,
because the water's not clear enough. We're afraid of the storm because we can't see on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, so that kind of goes into where I'm going. Okay. So you help me lay the foundation here. But Peter steps out, and I'm sure it's kind of wobbly at first. I don't know how many steps he took. I don't think the Bible says that, to my knowledge. Let's say he took 3 or 4, maybe 5, maybe in that direction. I believe probably the first 1 or 2 steps he was all over the place. And then when he took some strong, sturdy steps, he was like, okay, I'm doing this. When the Bible said, when you look at the scripture, this whole entire time, Peter was looking right at Jesus. He was looking right in the eyes, and I imagine right in the eyes of Jesus.
Yeah.
Not focusing on him. And as he stepped out, and he took a couple steps, and then I think his adrenaline probably was pumping. It was probably going haywire. And he was like, oh, this is cool in my mind. I'm walking on water. But the moment he looked away from Jesus and he looked at how bad the storm was, he was probably, in my mind, I would think, what in the world am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm out here, this huge storm. I'm walking on water. Jesus is walking on water. 5 minutes ago, I thought he was a ghost. And now I'm in the water, sitting here talking to him. And now I begin to sink.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like whenever you agree to do something and then the time comes to do it and you're like, why did I do this?
Yeah, our consecration. Like it really starts infecting. You're like, man, what did I do?
What did I agree to at the altar last night?
Right. That's how I felt when I did the water thing, bro. I was sitting there. I remember I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then the next 2 weeks I was like, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Anyways. But he got distracted. And there's I don't know if y'all have ever, if anybody ever seen it. I know I've been once to Sight and Sound, the studio that makes the plays, and I don't know if it would be a studio, but they make these plays about stories in the Bible. It's real cool. It's real theatrical. I guess that would be a good word of saying it. Very high produced. They don't just, it's nothing that, they put money into it. If you've never seen it, you should look it up. I think there's some of them on YouTube, or you can rent some of the plays, but it's nothing like going and seeing it in person. But I went one year, and the poster, and it was Jesus that I went to. It was Jesus's the story of Jesus that they were telling, and they went over that, and I found it cool that the poster behind it was Jesus, and the poster behind that was a hand sticking out of the water, and it was Jesus leaning down and pulling it out.
Yeah.
Now, to my knowledge, I think that's representing Peter and Jesus. I mean, I would think at least, or it's symbolic no matter what. But just there's so many ways when you look at that and you take it about how our everyday life is, When you're fasting, we talked about that a couple seconds ago. When you're fasting, when you're keeping your focus on Jesus and all that, it makes it easier. It doesn't make it better. But when you start looking on Instagram and you go to Little Caesars and you're like, man, I'd love some pizza right now. So just using an example. Dude, I remember one time I was fasting. One of the first times I really got dedicated when it comes to like fasting. I was fasting once a week. And the first day I started fasting, this guy that I know this was years and years ago, never sends me stuff on Instagram, sent me a Little Caesars ad the day I was fasting. And I was like, man, I can't talk to you anymore. I don't know this. But anyways, there's so many problems in our day-to-day life, especially now as we're living in the technology era of life, or our world, whatever the technical history way to saying it. Our world is all about give me now. You can look up anything with a matter of 10 seconds, how to do anything. If there's a YouTube video on it, if you don't know how to do it, there's a YouTube video on it. There's YouTube, there's all kind of, there's Reddit, you can look up and read about vehicles and stuff like that. There's so many things you can use for knowledge, and there's a lot of mess ups too. You can, be honest, be straight up, people can look up porn in a matter of 10 seconds. Look up any distraction, any place to buy alcohol, anything. There's constantly a storm in our world, and us as apostolics trying to live right and trying to do the very best and stay dedicated, it's hard. It is hard whenever I like when in this instance of this Bible story, I like the fact that obviously Jesus is in control over everything. He has everything under control, and he does everything for his reasoning. I don't understand it. I don't know why everything happens, why every good or bad thing, but I like this story in the Bible because it kind of shows life was going on with Jesus there no matter what. You see what I'm saying? Like Peter was stepping out of the boat and trusting God, or trusting Jesus in this moment, and trusting that he wasn't going to drown, but when he took his eyes off of it, he started to sink. But it represents that, even with Jesus on your side, even with living for God and all that, there's still going to be a storm going on. There's still going to be some sort of a problem, whether it's major, little, or just a stub toe. Life isn't going to be perfect. And that's what I kind of imagine a lot of times that life is in the spiritual realm. What I imagine it to be, with you walking with Jesus, and Jesus is fine. He's cool, calm, and collective, and he has everything under control, and he's just talking to you like, everything's normal and everything's cool and just the chaos around you, you know, like a storm, like a physical storm in this case. But, you know, there's distractions, there's heartaches, there's hurt, there's so many things. And in another level, too, this can be considered for a church service, too. You know, if you're not focusing on Jesus, focusing on the service and moving closer to God and everything going in the flow of the Spirit, and there's so many distractions in a service that if you really wanted to start, look, I love being an usher. There's some people that come to church sometimes that I just want to go and make them sit down, but I can't do that because they constantly in and out.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that on top of that, with distractions in church, the further you sit to the front, the less of that you see.
That is very true. That is very true. But you can't sit up front when you're ushering. I'm right there by that back double doors.
Yeah.
Ready for somebody to walk out and barely shut the door and it open, and then somebody walk back in and they hold the door and they close it so slightly, and then it comes right back open, and then they look at it and they leave it.
How does that make you feel?
I can't. It aggravates me. I get a bad spirit.
You got to live our tangents.
Yeah.
There's a few people that love to just look at it and then look at you like, and then they'll be so bold as to point at the door.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
I've never had nobody point at the door. I would definitely probably get a bad spirit back there. But
the first few times I ever ushered, yes.
But there's so much. See right there, that's a distraction. It can be a distraction. But the main thing I want to say today, and it's not a longer episode. It's a kind of a shorter episode, but just to do your best to keep your eyes on Jesus. It's not always going to be perfect. The devil is going to throw stuff at you, and then God's going to have trials and tribulation things that go on in your life that are supposed to make you stronger. I'm not going to say everything, just the stuff that's been going on in my life the past couple of weeks. It's just kind of been a back and forth, and not knowing what's going to be the outcome, not knowing what's going to happen, or what's this going to happen and all that. And I could say the past couple of weeks with everything that's just been going on in my life, it's just been God's been having my back no matter what, even when I don't think it, in my mind, it should happen now and then, right here, right now. It's not always like that, But that if we could use, it's kind of like what the preacher talked about Tuesday night. I didn't get to hear all of it because I had to go to work, but the bigger picture, letting everything, doing your best to fight off everything and putting your focus, saying, I'm going to focus on Jesus, even with prayer, I'm going to focus on praying. I'm not going to let my phone or this or that distract me, or same with reading my Bible. There's a lot of things that when you begin to look at it, there's a lot of distractions in the world, and just to keep your eyes on Jesus, to keep going forward. And there's a scripture, Paul wrote it, I'm thinking of, but I don't remember where it's at, but pastor preached about it a couple of weeks ago about pushing past or pushing towards the mark. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pushing towards Jesus, pushing towards the things that God wants for us, and all that, just to use your energy focusing on Jesus and not be focusing on things that really don't matter. Because Jesus will handle the things that don't matter, the little things and distraction and all that, but no matter how perfect your life sees to be or feels and all that, there always will be some kind of something going on to where I need to focus on Jesus.
Right.
That's just the gist of what I wanted to say today, just to keep your eyes on Jesus and keep moving forward.
That's good. Jeremy, anything?
No. You did a pretty good job of...
Thank you.
I'm explaining it. I don't have anything to add.
Pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah. If you don't keep your eyes on Jesus, you're going to sink really fast and be afraid. And then he has to pick you up and dust you off.
Right.
And then you got to get back in the boat.
Yep. So. And one thing, human nature, this is something I just thought of. Humans love to taking their eyes off of Jesus and then get aggravated with the mess that happens when you get down.
Yeah.
But you got to realize that you put yourself in that mess.
That's so true.
and you get aggravated, and it's not God's fault that He did that, because God's doing. Because if God made us robots, then it really wouldn't be love. It really wouldn't be a relationship. It wouldn't be companionship. It wouldn't be none of that. It would just be. It wouldn't.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be. I don't know what the word what the right word is to call it, but it wouldn't be how God has it now.
Right.
It wouldn't be companionship. It wouldn't be none of that.
Very good. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up right there. We appreciate you listening to us and kind of ramble and
Yeah, for the first 5 minutes.
the good thought Colton had in our tangents.
Yeah.
And leave us a comment, engage with us. Would love to hear from you. Just leave a comment on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening at, and just engage with us. We're on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and we have Linktree to everything on the socials. So look for us there.
We have a Linktree on everything for everything.
Me and Colton give Jeremy permission to post about his book.
Yeah.
On a podcast advertisement.
Dude, that's what his next podcast is going to be. It's just going to be about his book, and it's going to be why you should buy it.
I actually thought about that. Yeah. We could interview him about his book next one. But
we could do that.
Oh, gosh.
That's a good idea.
But, yeah. So, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.